Many students struggle to get a 7.5 in IELTS speaking. Let's find out how my student Stephen did it. Hello, it's Keith from the Keith Speaking Academy and the YouTube channel English Speaking Success. Recently, I got an email from a student. His name is Si Tu Ang. He has an English nickname, Stephen, and he's from Myanmar but presently living in Thailand. And he told me about how he finally got the score he wanted in IELTS speaking of 7.5. He actually joined the courses back in 2002, and he's worked very hard to get his goal. So I wanted to interview him to share with you also his journey, to find out the challenges he faced, how he overcame them, and what tips and advice he would give to students now facing the similar challenges and going for the same goal. So let's jump in with this interview with Stephen. I hope you find it useful and inspiring. Let's find out more. Hello there, Stephen. Hi, how are you?
Hi, DJ Keith. How are you? I'm fine. I'm great.
Excellent.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me, DJ Keith.
It's my pleasure, Stephen. It's my pleasure. It's very nice to meet you here. Now, I know you've got the name Stephen there. Tell us your real name and where you're from.
My real name is Situ On. I'm from Myanmar, and Situ is a little bit different difficult to pronounce. So I just got a nickname called Stephen.
Right. Fantastic. Great. So, Stephen, you're from Myanmar originally, and I think at the moment you're not living in Myanmar. Where are you living and what are you doing?
I'm currently living in Thailand, particularly in the northern Thailand, in Chiang Mai, and it's a great place to live here and visit around the city. And I've been living here for about 5 months, particularly for the IELTS exam. And during waiting for my exam result, I was traveling around the Southeast Asia to Laos, Vietnam, and Cambodia, and then came back to Thailand and just waiting for the visa to go to the UK.
Right. And what are you going to do in the UK?
Just to sit my medical exam. It's a two-step exam. So the first step in the Birmingham, so I just waiting for the visa to get. So it's just about 2 weeks to wait. So
right. So okay. Middle of August, you'll be off to Birmingham in the UK.
Birmingham, yes.
And
it's my first time.
Do you need IELTS in order to? So you want to be a doctor in the UK? Is that the plan?
Sure. We need to prove our English proficiency level. There are a lot of tests like OET and IELTS, but I chose IELTS because I know a lot of my weakness when it comes to IELTS because it's a lot more general rather than focusing on a medical exam. So I really like IELTS.
Fantastic. Great. Good. So you've been how long did you prepare for the IELTS test, and when did you take it and how did it go?
Actually, I've been preparing for IELTS a couple of years, but focusing on the main weakness area is on my writing is about 5 months. So just living in Thailand is the main focus for my writing. Because I already got the 7.5 in speaking because of your course. I just really need to focus on the writing for about 5 months.
Right, great. And did you get the result you need in your writing as well?
Yes, I got 7.5 in writing because of teacher Lauren and from the founder of the complete test success. Yeah.
Right, fantastic. Great. Nice to hear. Let's talk a little bit about challenges of preparing for IELTS and improving your English. What are the challenges that you faced?
The first thing is to know about my weakness because when it comes to listening and reading, we got feedback right after the exam, or like uh, the result is coming out immediately. But for speaking and writing, it's a little bit difficult. Uh, I was struggling a lot about speaking, and then I found fluent grammar course from you, and
Okay.
in Udemy, and then I bought it, and I practiced using that course. I got confident after that, and then I searched for your another course in the Udemy, but I can't find. And then uh, fortunately, you have a YouTube channel, and then I went to the YouTube channel, and then found your website called Keith Speaking
Right.
Academy. That's
Yes, yes.
that's the journey starts.
That's interesting. So you mentioned Udemy. So that's a long time ago because I began with two of my courses on Udemy, but several years ago I moved them to the website Keith Speaking Academy. Yeah.
You only
So
left the grammar course, and
yeah.
then the 7 plus
Seven
course is
plus. Mhm.
got private, so I can't buy it on Udemy. So I just
That's right.
search around the internet. Yeah,
And you found it on the Keith Speaking Academy.
yeah. Thank you.
Um, it's interesting that you began with the fluent grammar course. How did that help you?
Um, because I only need to follow your instruction, not to think about any fancy vocabulary or anything like grammar rules. Just I just need to listen, follow your instruction, and speak uh, uh in following the instruction in the course. It's like no brainer. It's just listen and talk and speak. That's so simple. So
Right.
it's
Kind of automating the language as you're using it. Great.
I
And
repeat the
then,
course again and again,
yeah,
at least 10
sometime,
times.
sorry, go
At
ahead.
least 10 times. Sorry, teacher. At least 10 times, I think. More than 10 times. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That repetition is so important. And then sometime later, you decided to join the gold course. Why did you join that? I'm curious.
Um, because of the grammar course, I'm really curious about you and the course. And then I found the seven plus course. I think before the gold course, there is a course called 7 plus course. And then I upgraded to gold course. It's really fantastic because you teach us about 4 steps, practice, try, discover, practice, and build. This system makes me feel confident during learning process because I can uh firstly I have to talk something something interesting about not something interesting. It's like something true for me, and I could just talk myself, and then I get to learn from the native speakers like you, and then I get corrected version, and then I just want synonyms, antonyms, as things like that. So it's,
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
That's very interesting. It's that I mean the speaking success system, that 4 steps. It is quite intense, repeating, practicing, changing, and it's a bit like a. I always imagine it's like a workout at the gym. You're just repetition of different ways of doing things. Um, I remember in your one of your emails you mentioned that the kind of the practicing the speaking also helped with your writing as well. Is that right?
Yes,
Could you explain a
yes,
bit about that?
yes. Because you said about the chunks, learning chunks in English is really important. Before that, I really learned English in words, so like learning from dictionary. But after that, I learned English from chunks. So by watching television, movies, and from native speakers. And then when it comes to writing, it's really hard to build vocabulary. So I got that idea when I found ChatGPT and Gemini AI because they can they can they can show you how native speakers talk and write in their daily life. Some words they can some not some words, most of the words they learn a lot from the native speakers. So I got an idea to implement your methods to writing, and I talk with ChatGPT and Gemini AI. So uh, they they showed me common words and native speakers use these words in their daily life. Yeah.
Amazing. That is so interesting. I think it's so true what you said about chunks, which, if anybody doesn't know who's watching, a chunk is kind of a 2 or 3 words that typically go together. It does help a lot with the way that we learn. And I'm a big fan of AI. I mean, likewise, when I practice my French that I speak as a foreign language, I use AI for writing and speaking. And I think, as we mentioned earlier, I think nowadays it's 95% accurate. It's not 100%, so you have to be careful, but it's good enough, right, to help.
Enough.
So, as students watching this may be also preparing for IELTS, I mean, from your experience of study, learning, preparing, what advice would you give to other students now?
Relax first. And then need feedback from an expert like you for speaking, and also writing is like find a teacher like teacher Lauren from the complete text access. Uh, Whatever your teacher is, you need to follow them, because when you change from teacher to teacher, it's really difficult for you to learn the concept, yeah, and the knowledge. So just stick with one teacher for for the main purpose, like speaking or writing.
Great advice. Very, very good advice. Stay with the one person. Um, Obviously, as you're preparing IELTS, motivation is a challenge. I mean, how did you stay motivated?
It's like just went through a lot. I need support from my family, my mom, dad, brothers, and also friends from the private group. They really help us a lot, especially during our private group lessons. So we talk to each other about our difficulties learning problems. So it's really helped me a lot. So you need to um firstly, you need to relax. So just something like meditation may help you. Yeah, yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think exams are very stressful. I think it's one of the biggest challenge for many students is the stress. It's just they're so nervous. They could be a band 6, but the nerves make them a band 5, or it reduces your performance. So I agree, relaxing and maybe learning to enjoy your study and your preparation as well is useful to do.
Yes. And to become a create your habit for English learning, yeah, this IELTS is about becoming create your habit, like watching movies, reading news, writing blog posts, and making your own podcast if you want. It's like not listening, reading, writing, speaking. It's just like watching movies, reading news, writing blog posts, and making your own podcast. It's kind of changing your mindset about your exam, especially when you think about your examiners. You can think like your friends, so you can talk a lot about yourself and your stories, and then you won't be afraid of the exam. Yeah, right? Did you get
Yeah,
it?
totally,
It's great.
totally. Yes. And that's interesting because I mean, part one of IELTS speaking is very much talking about yourself. It's about you. So if you've practiced through writing a blog or making a podcast about you and your life, even if it's just for yourself, it's a great practice for that. Um, Moving on, I mean, to kind of part 2 and part 3 in the test, it becomes more of a deeper conversation. How did you feel about that part of the test?
Actually, I have a technique because you taught in the course, like using some kind of structure. And but so these kind of structures really it really helps me a lot. Yeah, yeah. And so it really went well in my exam. And the idiom course, I think 3 idiom courses in your speaking academy. These idiom course helped me a lot because I repeat them at least 3 times before the exam, and I listen whenever I have a free time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There is the idioms course. There's the idioms book and the idioms course. Idioms are very challenging because it's hard to know when to use them and to use them confidently. Did you find that the novels helped with that in the course?
Really, really, because I can listen in a podcast version, and then when I want to just relax without studying, I just put my headset on and then I listen to podcasts.
Right, right. Fantastic. Nice. Great. That's great. So, I mean, Stephen, now that you've got your IELTS score, you mentioned you're going in 2 weeks to the UK to do your medical exam. And after that, what's the plan after that?
Because it's a two-step medical exam, I need to sit another exam if I pass the first step. So it may take about 6 months. So
Right. And then step by step, right?
step by step.
Fantastic. Great. Excellent. Well, it's been really, really interesting talking to you. Thank you for all of the sharing your journey and your advice. I'm sure it's going to be motivating and inspiring for a lot of students out there. Are there any final advice or comments you would make?
Have a good night's sleep before the exam because I was just struggling a lot getting 6.5. When I am in a sleep deprivation, I couldn't speak well. So have a good night's sleep before the exam.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's great. You know, sometimes it's just the simple things that help us along, right?
Yes.
Great. Stephen, thank you so much. And good luck with the exam. Say hello to England when you're across there next week. And we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Teacher Keith.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There we have it. Thank you, Stephen, for sharing your journey. Such a nice and kind man. I hope you enjoyed this, found it useful and inspiring to help you keep going on your IELTS journey to get the goal you want to get. If you want to find out more about the courses, the IELTS Speaking online courses that Stephen followed, there are links down below. You can follow those and find out more. In the meantime, keep going. You will reach your goal. Just keep practicing, keep going, be persistent and patient. And before you go, do remember to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.